Hey friends, here are 3 different list ideas that you can make to help you make better content in this year and beyond. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Hampton. My main channel is Hybrid Calisthenics. We have about 4 million subscribers on YouTube and about 8 to 10 million across social media. This channel is for me to share my ideas on content creation and entrepreneurship to hopefully help you. So I started making lists around earlier this year, possibly last year. That's why it says 2023 here. And it's because I realized that it gave me insight into things that I actually wanted that I may not be fully aware of. So most content creators or marketing directors, if you're not really a content creator per se, but you want to have social channels for your business to help advertise your product or service, whatever it may be, they usually have a list of ideas, either very casual, just a text document or Google Doc, or very, very well organized in terms of what they want to do. But for a lot of people, even some high-level creators, it's usually just one major list of like to-do list, content ideas, things like that. But what I recognize is that if I break it down into separate categories, I can analyze the differences and the similarities, and it really helps me create the best content in terms of what I actually want. First of all, it can help me determine what I actually want to do, which is not always as clearly defined as we might think. It helps me think of the best content ideas to make for that goal. And if you take nothing else away from this video, especially if you're relatively new to content creation and you want to get into it, I recommend that part of your daily process when you work on videos, possibly before you work on videos, you take at least a few minutes to ideate. You think of ideas and concepts that you want to explore, because you'll recognize that this changes over time as you learn more, right? So when you upload videos and you get both feedback in terms of stats and feedback in terms of comments from the community, you'll recognize that some things work better than others. And through the process of making content, you'll recognize what you enjoy making and what you don't enjoy making. And all this will lead to new ideas. So if you regularly ideate and think of new ideas and think of what direction you want to go in, it'll help keep you aligned with what you actually want. And you'll recognize as you continue to listen to this video, or you may already have them, that you can build many different lists depending on what type of ideas you want to collect. But here are 3 particularly insightful ones that we can focus on for this video. The first list is you can try to list 10 ideas that you think will get the most views. And the second is you can list 10 ideas that you think will make you the most money, all right? And the third is you can list 10 ideas that you think will help your community the most. You can bring the most value. And if you think that last one doesn't quite apply to you or your genre, then you can think of 10 ideas that'll help bring you closer to your goal. So your goal is to make people laugh, then it's 10 ideas that can make people laugh the most. And you don't have to spend too long on these, again, because you will probably change every day or every few days or every few weeks as your ideas and your content and your direction slightly shift. So don't spend too long or stress too much over these. It's just good to keep these somewhat top of mind every day. And actually, as you watch this video, you might be able to think of these ideas in real time. As I watch these and go over the details, you can think of the 10 ideas that best suit you. I'll do them with you in real time. I'll think of 3 ideas that can work on my channel or channels that may fit at this moment. I picked 3 instead of 10 because I want to kind of explain each one and I don't want the video to go on too long. I'm a details guy and I have to watch out for my videos not to be like an hour or 2 hours. Although I guess some people would like that. I just don't know how many. So the first list we can start to assemble is the one for most views. Now this one might seem the most intuitive to many people, although most of us, or maybe some of us, will say that we're not making content just for views. We're not necessarily optimizing just for how many views we get. We have a goal. We have a direction that we want to pursue that is somewhat aligned with how many views we get, but that's not the only metric we focus on. I feel like most creators kind of have that. But still, if you spend any time in like YouTube Studio or any social media platform creator dashboard, views is often given as the primary metric or one of the primary metrics. So it's good just to keep this in mind. If we were optimizing for views in the general direction of what we want to do, what would our content ideas look like? You'll notice as you start to think of these ideas that a lot of these will invoke viewer curiosity. So it's things that are interesting ideas anyway. And a lot of these ideas will actually involve a lot of work off camera on the back end. So if you set yourself up to talk with interesting people like celebrities, or you see interesting places, maybe hard to reach places, hopefully not too dangerous, but places that are intriguing, or you interact with interesting things. These are all things that are somewhat rare and make viewers somewhat curious and want to see more, and also watch it for a long time, which will help the reach of your content, so you'll get more viewers. And for me, given the nature of what I do and how I want to do it, it would be a lot of my unsponsored review series would fit in this category. So unsponsored review is usually me taking a product that I see advertised, usually fairly popular or well-known, maybe a little bit on the expensive end, so not cheap enough that people will just buy it and try it for themselves. But I try these products unsponsored, so I'm not biased by money, and I give my honest feedback. And users can experience a product through me and hopefully make a better decision on whether or not they want to use that product or service. And if I were to pick one, I would say maybe that Samsung Galaxy Ring unsponsored review. So it's health metrics, and I would go through that on different exercises. Another great idea that you can use is sequels. If a piece of content or a few pieces of content have done really well on your channel, you can make a follow-up. You usually don't want to milk it too much, but if you ever watched a video and you're like, man, I would really like to know more about that, chances are your viewers also want a similar thing for your most popular content. So something that would work well for your viewers and for you is to find your most interesting content that viewers have already liked, ask yourself what else they might want to see, or ask them what they might want to see, and you make a follow-up. So for me, it kind of surprised me that my isometrics series on hybrid calisthenics has done somewhat well. So I can make another short on how to get stronger without moving, maybe covering ideal hold times. And for a third one, I've noticed some people enjoy discussions on some fitness concepts. So if you see someone lifting weights or doing calisthenics and they're using resistance bands or chains, there's an element of variable resistance. So throughout the movement, the weight changes either because of the band or because of the chains. And there are some benefits to that I think some people might be interested in if I discuss it in a short or a long form. By the way, you can do this for every list, but especially for this one, because shorts usually get more views than long form, you may want to separate them. So you can have one list for long form, one list for shorts. And I want to add one note to this that I already mentioned, but I want to emphasize, is that as you think of the content ideas that can get the most views, you may want to think about ones that you would reasonably do. Because you think in any given category, any given genre on YouTube or any social media platform, there's usually a type of content that does especially well. So there's a type of game show content on YouTube, for example, that does really well across multiple different genres. You can make general game show content, and if you're into fitness, I could do fitness game show style content. I could also set it up to where I collaborate with other people or meet different celebrities and ask them to exercise with me or put them through different challenges. And that would be fun to watch and fun to do, but it's not what I want to do right now. So you want to think about content ideas that you might reasonably do. And maybe think of some ideas that you wouldn't do right now, but you might consider doing in the future. The goal is just to expand our minds. And this is where it might get interesting, because the next list is 10 things, 10 video ideas that would make you the most money, or make you a lot of money, I guess. It's hard to find the most. And this is interesting because this is not a metric that you get a clear indicator on in your creator dashboard or any given single creator dashboard, depending on who you are and what you're doing. Because for something like YouTube, AdSense is a big part of a lot of creators' revenue streams. So the ads on videos is partially how they make money. But as content creators and channels continue to scale, it very often is not the biggest source of your revenue stream. And even early on, as you offer merchandise or Patreon or even memberships, you'll see that it's not the only source of your revenue. So right off the bat, that's why this list is not quite the same as the videos that get the most views. Car just drove by. Even among videos that get the most views, there's something called CPM and RPM. You might already be familiar with this. But the amount you get per ad, basically, or per 1,000 views on your videos, differs, and it can range widely depending on what you're talking about and what the audience is for that video. Things like tech and business often have high CPMs and RPMs. Some content creators might get $20 per 1,000 views, and something like gaming might get $3 or $4 RPM, or $3 or $4 per 1,000 views. But what you choose depends on what you're good at, what you want to do, and how much demand there is for something. So business owners probably are willing to spend more per ad than gamers in their teens. However, there probably are more gamers than business owners. So there's a few different nuances you can consider. However, within what you want to do and what you would like to do and what you're good at, there are some ideas that are higher CPM and higher RPM. If you have a business or a product line or a merch line, a video that helps promote that could help you make a lot of money, even if it doesn't get a lot of views. If you do sponsorships, a video idea that discusses that product that you're sponsored on could also help you make a lot of money. And a lot of these factors are related because, for example, a sponsor probably wants a lot of views, a lot of eyeballs on their product, and that would affect how much they're willing to pay you. So you might also want the sponsored video to get a lot of views. So to apply those ideas to me, something that's higher RPM, higher CPM could be tech products. So if I were to do an unsponsored review on a fitness tech product, or really any tech product that people in my audience would want to see reviewed, that video would have the potential to make more money per view. It's not always super easy to manipulate like that. that. That's why we're trying to stick with what we know and videos we would make anyway. So something like the Samsung Ring, that might work. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to test that. I do sell some products, and it's a little bit different for me because my main product, the hybrid fitness routine, is free, but I sell different versions of that. So if you just want to see it for free, it's on hybridcalisthenics.com/routine. But if you like books, we offer a physical book and an ebook version if you want to buy and support the routine. And a fitness app version of it, that's still in beta, but something that might make more money is if I thought of video ideas that were associated with the fitness routine and help promote things like the book and the app, just to give an example. And third, I have never taken a sponsorship, so this one's a little bit different for me. But what I could do, and some people will find this to be a workaround, but I think it's an idea that some people can consider, where the majority of the work is in the back end and I create a new product or a new thing I can offer people that I actually believe in and is actually good and I actually spend a lot of time on. For example, if I wrote another book and I made an announcement video for that book, depending on how I title it and how I format it and how I do the video, that video may not have a lot of views, but product release videos generally make some money. And the third list that I mentioned you can make is probably the most nebulous, and it's very interesting because there's many different directions you can take. 10 things that would help your community, your audience, your viewers most. So for the previous two lists, you can always say, hey, I'm not here just to get views, so I won't do all of this. And you can also say, I'm not here just to make money, so I'm not only going to follow this list. But if you're here to help people, bring value to them, entertain them, or educate them, then you may want to seriously ask yourself why you're not making the content that you think would help people the most. And there are some reasons. For example, some content that you think could help people are not things people actually want to view, and as a result, it doesn't get distributed to a lot of people, it doesn't make you a lot of money, there's a lot of gray and red arrows in your creator dashboard. Sad times. So there is a little bit of a balancing act. But I believe there is a way to better align the things that you think would help people the most, or bring you or your viewers closer to their goals, with the other stuff that you would like to happen, like views or money. And this is my current process. It's the videos you are currently watching. Whether on Hybrid Creators, Coffee with Hampton, or Hybrid Calisthenics, I have made an effort to want to make sustainable content that I think can help people the most, while trying to balance things that are actually interesting, things people want to see, and things that are entertaining. It's good to laugh a bit. For example, the video you're watching now on Hybrid Creators isn't monetized in terms of AdSense and stuff at this moment. So this video will make no money. It actually makes negative money because it costs us time and money to edit and post-produce it, which I'm very willing to do, shout out to Ulysses. But it's content that I think can help people who are interested in content creation and entrepreneurship, things that I'm very passionate about. In Coffee with Hampton, a discussion on life, is a channel where we go a little bit more introspective on things that can hopefully help the mental health of the people who watch it. And on Hybrid Calisthenics, I love talking about fitness, so I want to give actionable fitness tips that I'm currently doing, but I also want to talk about some mindset stuff, motivation, and how to get started, things like that. It's one thing to know what you would need to do, it's another thing to have the drive to actually do it. And I know there's a saying of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But if you really care about the horse, maybe there's some ways you can explore convincing it. Tickle, tickle. I don't know if that'd be motivating or demotivating. So my 3 non-specific video ideas for this category would be content creation, introspection, and motivation. Motivation/fitness. I still like fitness. And after you make these lists, it took some time, it's now dark, you can start to analyze that there are some similarities between these lists. And if you notice something or some things that are on all 3 lists, they can help you get views, they can help you make money, and they can help you help people most. Those are the ones you should probably do right away. High priority. Why not do them? Even if they take a while, they might be worth it. But you may also want to analyze how different your lists are. Maybe there are no similarities. And if so, then you may want to choose one of those goals and start building it up. So for example, let's say that you are in gaming or some other type of entertainment. However, what you think can actually help people is you have a secret love for philosophy that you really want to spread. However, your gaming audience of a couple million has no interest in your philosophy. Some interest, there's usually some crossover. Then you may want to make a serious conscious decision on how you can better integrate philosophy into your gaming channel. You could make a separate channel, some people do that. You can start doing gaming/philosophy videos, like the Socratic method for Fortnite, secrets revealed, something like that. Or you can start making more philosophy content and start making a viewer base around that. Each of those have pros and cons. It's something you can start thinking about. But if you were to do something like that, you'll notice that even though you might start off relatively small, you might start off on your new philosophy channel and you only have 5,000, I wouldn't even say 5,000. Let's say you have 10 followers on your new philosophy channel, which is a substantial difference when you're used to 50,000, 100,000. And because of that, you're also making no money. But if it's something you actually think can bring you closer to your goals, help bring your audience closer to their goals, and it's something you enjoy doing, then it's something you may want to spend some time on. And over time, you will get more viewers. You can make more money from that. And because you started there, it's also the content that you think can help people the most. So even if your 3 lists are not very aligned, you can bring them into better alignment over time. I recommend starting with what you think can help people the most and bring your other goals towards that. There are many different lists that you can make. You can make a list for content ideas that are the worst content ideas. You can make a list of content ideas that you think would take the shortest time, things you can do within 10 minutes. That might be helpful for sometimes, some days when you're on a time crunch or you want to spend more time with family. 10 different collaboration ideas, 10 funniest ideas. You can always make a list and then just reject it, but it's nice to have as a reference because it can help you define who you are, who you want to be, and what you want to do. Have a beautiful day.